This narrated submission grappling video explains jiu-jitsu training, teaching you key moves so you can get better faster at jiu-jitsu. After watching, you'll learn BJJ techniques you need to know to gain skill. I also give some BJJ motivational words and talk about BJJ problems and solutions to help your grappling game for your next roll. I stand up to open the guard as Paige grabs both of my ankles, opens her guard, and uses her feet to push my hips and sweeps me. There's no better time to heel hook a white belt than after getting knocked on your swept from open guard. Paige did not want to enter the leg lock game. Leg locks, heel hooks, and toe holds use shearing force to twist legs at the joints, much like twisting apart bones as you enjoy a chicken wing. Paige is explaining her current jiu-jitsu problem. This information is really going to help you out because every BJJ player in jiu-jitsu has this problem. The girls who get it, and if you don't, I'll explain it. That reenactment is the confidence of knowing 3 guillotine escapes and wishing someone would try to guillotine you as you're shooting in for a double. Then having a 200-pound jack CrossFit guy lift you by your neck as you figure out why that outside trip guillotine escape isn't working. Welcome to the art of transferring jiu-jitsu knowledge to skill. I lock up with Paige, controlling the back of her head with one hand and bicep on the other, and perform a snap down technique, which, like most wrestling techniques, is pure physical brutality. I yank her head down. This is important for you to understand. You actually have to go for things to make other things work, and let me explain. Snap them down with 100% commitment to get a front headlock. If you get a front headlock, great. That it's a super controlling position. You can do a lot of stuff from there. If you don't, because they fight by posturing up, well, my friend, you have just created the perfect snap down shot setup to get a double leg. Paige shoots in, but if you can see the ground, your posture is broken, which means they can easily guillotine and sprawl on you. You want to hit them with the front of your shoulder, not the top. You want your chesticle ramming their thigh. Bend at your knees, not at your hips, to lower yourself to shoot. Your legs should feel it. This shot is a wrestling technique to get in close enough to perform another wrestling technique called a double leg, which is a takedown. If you're going to be a ground fighter, you better know how to take the fight to the ground. I bend forward to show Paige how easy it is to get guillotined if you shoot in by bending at the hips instead of getting low by bending at the knees. Paige shoots and adds a 90-degree turn, which is called cutting the angle, while pulling down on my knee pit, which really helps the takedown by breaking them at their far knee. My bitch is bad and bullshit bad. Cooking up with a Uzi. My niggas are savage, ruthless. Another way to set up a shot is a shove shot, so push them. Here, Paige pushes me, waits 2 seconds, and then tries to shoot for a double. I laugh and tell her, if you push me, then wait around to shoot. You're just being a bully at this point. Once she understood timing, she was able to see that the time to shoot was when I was still off balanced going backwards. If you push them, then wait for them to come forward again. You're just pushing with no actual benefit towards the technique. I mean, she may as well try to take my lunch money. Now I tell her, okay, it's time for you to do it for real. Let's go live. And at this point, we had been rolling for more than 20 minutes straight after an hour of class. And she was like, oh my God, I can't. Shoot again feels like jumping off a cliff and hoping your parachute opens. Except in jiu-jitsu, when you first jump off that proverbial cliff, you know there's only a small chance that parachute's gonna open, like a 1% chance if this is your first time doing it. So you have to jump off the cliff knowing there is a I don't know, 10% chance your parachute's gonna open, you are looking failure right in the face. You have to jump off the cliff with a 10% shot of your parachute opening and 10% chance of your ego surviving. In gaining jiu-jitsu skill, the death of ego is pretty much guaranteed. Your brain is going to tell you no. Your brain is trying to protect you. You're always going to feel fear if you're doing something that feels like jumping off a cliff with a 10% chance of surviving. One trick or tip in sports psychology is to relabel things. So tell yourself you're not afraid, you're excited, and you're looking forward to epic failure. The measuring stick of jiu-jitsu skill is counted in epic fails. Getting jiu-jitsu knowledge is easy. It's easy to talk, to say what should be done when. It's easy to go through the movement of a technique with 0% resistance. Gaining knowledge is easier than gaining skill. Skill is taking a beating and fighting to get out of side control because the takedown didn't work. Skill is hanging by your neck while the CrossFit guy is trying to murder you while you're troubleshooting a move, then asking, why didn't that work? Choke me again, like you did when we were live, so I can figure out what went wrong. My name is Crystal. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. So the motivational jiu-jitsu speech is done. Let me know if you like this type of motivational talk and jiu-jitsu encouragement. I know when I first started jiu-jitsu, the road is tough. Getting beat up every day is not exactly positive reinforcement or encouraging to move forward. Here we start with Paige on my back and back mount with her hooks in, so she can work on back control and attacking from the back. I kick out to clear the hook.
Astro. Yeah. Hey, hey. She's in love with who I am. Back in high school, I used to bust it to the dance. Now I hit the FBO with duffels in my hands.
Now she is trying to choke me out. We grip fight as she tries to sink in a rear naked choke. She captures my top arm in disbelief and asks, did I really get that? Yes, Paige, you really got this move. Now that my arm is trapped behind my back, this makes it 50% more difficult for me to hand fight against the rear naked choke. She is doing a great job of keeping her leg above my elbow line. The number one reason why people lose control after gaining control of the top arm, my right arm in this case, is because they let their leg slip down past the elbow line to the forearm area. All while choking, Paige keeps her right calf above my right elbow, keeping my arm trapped behind my back, and makes it very difficult for me to escape. She does a great job going for the rear naked choke and gets under my chin by keeping a flat hand and walking under my chin to get this rear naked choke. Let's see if she can get a submission. If she would have brought her left hand across the back of my head to lock it up, it would have been on. You can also do a one-arm choke if you hide your knuckle line under your chin. Sometimes they start digging for it if you don't have both of their arms controlled. In those instances, I race and lock it up tight so my choking arm doesn't get pulled down. Here I am fighting to escape back control by fighting to get my hips over Paige's bottom leg, and she fights to keep my back controlled.
night. 767, man, this shit got double bedroom, man. I still got scores to settle, man. I crept down the block, made a right, cut the lights.
Paige knows she's about to lose back control, so she fights for the next best position to getting somebody's back, which is mounting them.
Niggas think it's sweet, it's on sight, nothing nice, Vegas in my ice. Jesus Christ, checks over stripes, yeah, that's what I like, that's what we like. Lost my respect, you're not a threat when I shoot my shot.
Here I work my headlock escapes, which are great BJJ moves to know for self-defense in a street fight, because people who don't know any other fighting techniques will just try to grab your head and wrench on it.
Niggas think it's sweet, it's on sight, nothing nice, Vegas in my ice. Jesus Christ, checks.
Paige is exhausted from all the fighting. If you saw my previous video, that just happened in real time right before this. This is the last minutes of a round that lasted about 30 minutes straight.
That's what I like, that's what we like. Lost my respect, you're not a threat when I shoot my shot. That shit wetty like on Shaq. See the shots.
She takes a moment to rest. She's breathing really hard, so I pat her back. I'm not tapping here, but I'm kind of like giving her motivation, patting her back like, you're doing great. I have faith in you. We're pretty much the last one still training. As you can see in the background, the cleanup crew is mopping up the mats with the tiers of blue belts. The reason why I'm not breathing hard or as fatigued as Paige is not because I have better cardio. It's because I try to do the least using strength and do the most with technique and timing. If you see a jiu-jitsu black belt looking non-athletic, it's because they can beat everyone up without trying hard. That's my coach in back, who's looking extremely athletic. There's a very interesting phenomenon that happens that's extremely apparent in Muay Thai kickboxing. So in Muay Thai, the coach will say something like, hey, turn over your hip when you're kicking. What happens? The guy doesn't turn over his hip, he just kicks harder. And yeah, I mean, you just kicked me with a really hard soccer kick. If you're gonna bruise my leg, at least do it with a kick that has good technique. Martial arts training like Brazilian Jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai kickboxing, there's a difference between fighting hard for fear of ego losing status and fighting while understanding and accepting that losing during training is part of the learning process. Training with fear of losing, of not wanting to do it right or try new moves, and ego-driven sparring of doing it harder instead of doing it better creates training partners with like bruised legs who now view that person as a heavy bag or mat dummy. Like personally, I'm not helping the guy who's ego sparring with me. I'm choking him out using the least effort possible and letting him figure it out, versus somebody coming to the sparring round with a sense of fun and non-ego driven learning is I will help them out any day of the week. You're doing great, keep on learning, and try not to let ego or fear of losing get in the way. Learning how to fight is humbling. The easiest thing for me is to laugh at my epic fails, because I fail epically a lot. Look at how many takedowns I failed at. It's just, you know, it's just ongoing failure. I attribute my success in jiu-jitsu to failing relentlessly and epically. It does take time to edit these videos, so thank you to everyone who has subscribed. You know, it makes me feel good. It's like a hug. Here is the round with minimal edits. That way you can see everything happening in real time and understand what we're doing. It always helps to see it more than one time and to remember what was said and what's going on and why. So here's the roll again, and I will see you at the end of this round.
I guess superhero leaders stay music. No one man should have all that power. The clock's ticking, I just count the hours. Stop tripping, I'm tripping off the power. The system broken, the schools closed, the prisons open. We ain't got nothing to lose, motherfucker, we roll. Motherfucker, we roll. With some light-skinned girls and some pretty rolls. In this white man world, we the ones chosen. So good night, cool world, I'll see you in the morning. I'll see you in the morning. This is way too much, I need a moment. No one man should have all that power. The clock's ticking, I just count the hours. Stop tripping, I'm tripping off the power. Till then, fuck that, the world's ours. Sauce is Napoleon, my pose is Mongolian, my ice brought the goalies and I embody every characteristic of the egotistic. He knows he's so fucking gifted. I just needed time alone with my own thoughts. Got treasures in my mind, but couldn't open up my own vault. I tell like creativity, purity, and honesty is honestly being crowded by these grown dogs. No one man should have all that power. The clock's ticking, I just count the hours. Stop tripping, I'm tripping off the power. Till then, fuck that, the world's ours.
Raindrop, drop top, smoking, no cooking, the hot bar. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Cooking up dope in the crock pot. We came from nothing to something, nigga. I don't try nobody, grip the trigger. Nobody call up the gang and they come and get janked. Cry me a river, give you a tissue. It's bad and bullshit, bad. Cooking up dope with a Uzi. My niggas are savage, ruthless. We got 30s and 100 rounds too. My bitch is bad and bullshit, bad. Cooking up dope with a Uzi. My niggas are savage, ruthless. Raindrop, drop top, smoking, no cooking, the hot bar. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Cooking up dope in the crock pot. We came from nothing to something, nigga. I don't try nobody, grip the trigger. Nobody call up the gang and they come and get janked. Cry me a river, give you a tissue. It's bad and bullshit, bad. Cooking up dope with a Uzi. My niggas are savage, ruthless. We got 30s and 100 rounds too. My bitch is bad and bullshit, bad. Cooking up dope with a Uzi. My niggas are savage.
But my feet is in Bottega. Bitch, I'm getting money, give a fuck about a haters. It's a whole lot of money in this motherfucker. Look, can we run no broke shit, that broke shit get old. And look, can we run no hoe shit, these hoes get too bold. I'm allergic to that no shit, my wrist game on cold. I might peel my coupe like just see that, you Tamara.
What's Tia? My pussy pretty, I fuck them like porn stars.
I'm playing basketball, but my bitches is all stars.
Got Richie on my wrist, cause I'm richer than most broads.
Yo, Nick, these bitches trippin', let's send them a postcard. I put on my jewelry just to go to the bodega. And I keep it with me just so that I'm feeling safer. Fendi on my body, but my feet is in Bottega. Bitch, I'm getting money, give a fuck about a haters.
You already know them.
the gate outside. When they pull up, they give me loose. Yeah, jump out, boys. That's Nike boys. I've been our goose. This shit way too big. When we pull up, give me the loot. Was off the Remy, had a back boost. Had to hit my old down, to duck the news. 4-hour lockdown, we made no moves. Now it's 4 a.m. and I'm back up popping with the cool. I just landed in Chase B mixes pop like Jamba Joe's. Different color chains, see my jeweler really selling fruits. And they joking, man, know the crackers wish it was a no. Someone said,
It was great spending time with you as always, and I believe in you. Keep on training, keep on showing up. Believe, even if your parachute has never opened before, if you're facing certain and immediate death upon that double leg, jump as if it's going to open, all right? We call it commitment, full commitment, like give it a full send. You know what I'm saying? IDGF energy. All right? I love you. Keep on doing what you're doing. You can do anything that you put your mind to, for real. Don't let anything stop you, because you got this. All right? Until next time, love you. Bye. Oh yeah, and if you haven't subscribed yet, like, you know, and you've made it this far, no, I'm just kidding. You do what you want. All right, no, seriously, love you. Bye.
now I gotta open, it's just a ghost. Who put this shit together? I'm the glue. Someone said, shorty face got me out the blue. Someone said, motherfucker, someone said.